Today we're going to cover how to create a miscellaneous item inside of the edge. Now in this case I'm going to be demonstrating with a tube of sound caulk in a drywall partition condition. However, you can use this format and this method to build any miscellaneous item that you need in any trade that you're working in inside of the edge. Now, the first thing we need to do is we need to navigate to our condition properties tab, and in this case I'm going to do that by double clicking on my condition. Once we're in the condition properties, we need to navigate to the miscellaneous tab, and I'm going to do that by single left clicking. Now on the miscellaneous tab, you'll notice that we have a couple items already out here, and you'll notice down here in the bottom left corner we have an add, an edit, and a delete option. Now in this case, we're going to be using the add option because we want to create a miscellaneous item that's not already out there. So we click add. Once we click on add, you're going to be presented with this dialog box. Now, it's easiest to work your way from top down when working inside of this miscellaneous item dialog box. What you need to know when building a miscellaneous item is that you're actually building a ratio. So in this case, if we were to measure 100 lineal footage of wall, how much lineal footage of sound caulking would we need, right? Well, that's going to depend on your specs. Well, in this case, if we want to say for every 1 lineal foot that we measure, we have 2 sides of the wall that we're going to be sealing. In that case, we would just change our quantity to 2. Now you're getting a 2-to-1 ratio, so every 1 lineal foot that you measure on your takeoff screen, you're going to be producing 2 lineal footage of sound caulking. This is for side A and side B. Now that we have our ratio set up, it's time to move down to the estimated unit. In this case, lineal footage is the correct estimated unit, so we don't need to make any changes. However, if you were working with an adhesive or if you were working with any other item that would be calculated in a different unit of measure, simply click the drop down, change the unit of measure to be accurate to the product you're working with. The reason that it's important that you change the estimated unit to be accurate with the product you're working with is because the estimated unit is going to control all of your options for material and labor that are created in the database for you already. Now in this case, when we click our 3-dotted button here for the estimated unit of lineal footage, you're going to see quite a few products. Now these are products that have already been created by the Edge or by somebody at your company who's needed to use that product in the past. Now in this case, if I search sound caulk, I'm going to find it. Okay, we have quite a few options out there just for the simple fact that we've had a lot of people who have worked inside of this database. Now you'll notice that there are 2 different color coordinations here. You'll notice that there's a blue worded sound caulk, and you'll also notice that there's a black worded sound caulk. The difference is ultimately material versus labor. Okay, if you had any subcontractors out here or equipment or other for your cost type classifications, those would come in their own respective colors as well. Now, in this case, we don't actually have to create a sound caulk item, so I'm actually going to delete this and walk us through what it looks like to create an item. In this case, I'm going to click the trash can just to delete that sound caulk item. Now, how do I add in a product that's not already in the database? Well, there's 2 different ways. Now, if you have something similar, you can click the copy and insert tool. However, if you don't have anything similar, you can simply click the green plus in the upper right-hand corner. Now, once you click that green plus in the upper right-hand corner, you're presented with this dialog box. You don't need to change the industry. You just start with your description. Reason being is because the description, the cost type, and the user code are the 3 fields that you really care about when creating this miscellaneous item. So you first ask yourself, what are you creating? In this case, we're creating sound caulk. Now, after we've put in our description, we have to decide, is this a material? Is this a labor? Well, in this case, we're going to build this as a material. Then you have to choose your user code. It's easiest if you simply click the drop down, so that way you're only looking at material information. If you were to click the blue dotted square, it's going to show you everything that has been added into the database, whether it's material, labor, subcontractors, equipment, or other. The cost type doesn't matter. So again, it's easier just to use the drop down. Here, we'll scroll through the list. We'll find where we want this to go. In this case, we want it to go with finishing materials or framing materials. It really doesn't matter, right? So here I'm going to choose framing materials. And then if I wanted to give it a category, I could also give it a category. In this case, is going to be ceiling. Now that I have my category in, I'm going to click Save. Notice how I didn't modify any of the other tabs. The reason that we didn't modify any of the other tabs is due to the fact that you're going to run the wizard on this item when you get out to your pricing screen, and that's going to allow you to customize how that product is ordered as well as how that product is priced. So you'll notice that we only have the material item. So we want to create the labor line. Well, there's two ways that you can do that, and I'm going to show you the preferred way first. The preferred way is to click the copy and insert button. Once you click copy and insert, you'll notice that your description is the same. Simply click the cost type dropdown, choose labor, and now you can click your user code dropdown and assign this to wherever you need it to go. In this case, we're going to scroll all the way down and we're going to go into interior framing labor and we'll say save. That is the easiest way that you can create the labor counterpart for the material item. The other option is you could have clicked the green plus and you could have went through the whole process of creating that item from scratch again. The copy and insert's there just to save you a little bit of extra time. So now that you've created your item, you'll simply left click and choose select, and that will now pull your item into the miscellaneous description category. Once the miscellaneous description has been filled out, you can read down at the bottom the summary to verify that you've added in everything that you need this to have. Now in this case, you'll also notice that we have a cost types option here. Whatever cost type you have selected is what you're going to currently be providing inside of this condition. So in this case, right now, we only have material. However, we created a material and a labor line. Here we would click the labor checkbox to assign that labor as well. And once you have all of your cost types selected, simply click OK and OK again on the condition to save the condition. Once you've done that, now if you were to go out and look at this on the pricing screen, you'll now see your material line of sound caulk, and on the labor screen, you'll also see that labor line for sound caulking as well. If you have any additional questions or you get stuck in any way while you're trying to build your miscellaneous item, please feel free to give us a call on the tech line. We'd be happy to help you out and assist you in any way we can. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.